Hi everyone, thanks for joining us on the virtual town hall meeting. I'm going to go through the agenda, and then we're going to leave a lot of room for questions. We'll use 10 minutes for questions, and you can always text them to us on our feed. I'm going to talk, like I said, for 15 to 20 minutes. Feel free to post your questions on Google Plus or your YouTube at any point. At the end of my presentation, my staff will give me all the questions, and I'll do my best to address them right now. Otherwise, we'll communicate back and forth. The video will also be available, like I said, on YouTube later, so go ahead and keep posting your questions. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can on your answers. My agenda today that we're going to go through is what we're still working on in Springfield, personal and other member legislative accomplishments. What do some of these bills mean to you personally as a constituent? Summary of the last 2 extra session days, which we are not getting paid per diem, we're not getting paid for gas to go back there, and then the questions that you have. What we are still working on in Springfield right now is the state budget, of course, and the energy issues. The House and the Senate have passed out a spending plan based on, and it was crafted by the Democrats, based on the cuts that don't harm middle class. It's very paramount that you understand the importance there, and also places Illinois on a path to meet its financial obligations. And the other proposal is by the governor. We've known about the governor's budget since he gave the address early in February, but in recent days before the legislative session was set to end, we did actually get language to discuss it on the floor. Governor Rauner wants to cut $6.7 billion. We have yet to hear his proposal on ways to introduce new revenue. And here are just a litany of some of the cuts that he proposed under his budget. $400 million from higher ed, $21 million from education programs, $2.2 million from pension savings, $31 million from alcoholism and substance abuse programs, $1 billion from the Department of Health Care and Family Services, $22 million from the Department of Public Health, $2 million from the Department of Military Affairs, $4 million from the Department of Veterans Affairs, $5 million from the Department of Transportation, and $34 million from the Supreme Court. And the list goes on. The budget I supported admits currently right now there's $3 billion out of balance, but we still can work on a solution if Governor Rauner decides to talk about revenue in this. What we find right now is that the negotiations have slowed down a bit, and the leaders are actually at the table with the governor. But what we find, and if you haven't heard the turnaround agenda by the governor, he's trying to take his proposal of policy changes and tie it to the budget. Now, understand this. On June 30th, we ceased to run because we haven't passed our budget yet. So the governor is trying to force the hand of the legislature to deal with workers' comp, tort reform, local tax property freeze, which we passed this last week, and all the Democrats voted on it. Well, I think it was like 41 of the Democrats voted on the first proposal. The second one was a little bit more, but it did not. They were amendments. So if you want to discuss that a little bit further outside this, I'd be more than happy to discuss how that goes. Once again, the budget and the spending plan that I support will protect education funding, pension, corrections, and many social services, and both cuts and revenue will be integral and part of the budget that we send to the governor. What we know to be true is that we're going to have to find new revenue sources in order to support our budget, and we haven't come up to that point yet where the governor is willing to sit down and just so you rest assured, if you will, there's 5 other states, to include us would be 6, that haven't come to a budgetary solution yet. There are a lot of issues going on in the state, especially with the pension, that we have to work on together, but we're not. Believe me, we're not the only state that's going through these heartaches right now. I'm confident if we put our minds together and we sit down with the governor and he is willing not to cut deeply in the middle class, and we find a solution to some revenue. So the state itself is supported by 3 pillars. We have state income, we have sales tax, and property tax. And with those 3, we carry the weight of the entire state. Now, the governor's a really good business person, but people are not products. And what we need to do is sit down and have some clear, concise marching orders, not only how are we going to pass the budget to protect our most vulnerable people, but what revenue are we going to put in place to supplant some money, maybe from property tax, to alleviate that from especially the seniors and people that can't pay property tax, and where's that going to come from? So I will keep you posted on what we come to those issues. I've been extremely blessed this year to pick up the Energy Committee in the House of Representatives, and what you hear right now is a lot of issues with the nuclear plant closures. You see a lot of ads, a lot of TV commercials for a couple bills that I'll surmise for you right now. Speaker Madigan has a House Resolution Bill 1146. Representative Larry Walsh has a House Bill 3293. Representative Elaine Neckwitz has a House Bill 2606. And Representative Bob Rita has House Bill 3328. Now, all these bills have to do with our energy policy going forward in the state of Illinois, and how we're going to use renewables, sun, solar, hydro, and how does that combine with nuclear plants that we have in the state of Illinois. 47% of our energy presently comes from nuclear plants. Now, the Exelon issue that you've been hearing and seeing messages everywhere about those plant closures are very serious. But we also right now are going through federal rewrites on energy policy at the federal level. So what we don't want to do is to rush into a piece of legislation, into statute, and have to redo something that the federal government tells us we need to do. So we're trying to take our time and work with all the people at the table, with Exelon, with ComEd, with all the energy providers, the environmental advocates, and come up with a decent plan. And I've said this all along in all the radio stations I've been talking to and what have you, is that it's going to be a negotiated process. No one's going to get 100% of what they want, but what we're going to do is get 80% of what everybody wants so we can move forward in a very ethical, very comprehensive plan for the solution that addresses Illinois energy needs. Hydro is very important, and solar, and we haven't even touched on that as a state. Personal and other member legislative accomplishments. This year we have House Bill 2483, Public Aid Appropriation Fraud, passed both houses. The details on this we're going to be submitting to you on when you see the YouTube, so you can go in and research it. But if you go on to Illinois General Assembly and push in some of these bill numbers, you can be a little bit more educated, if you will, on the extent of the bill. Because I'll be going through a quick analysis, but they're very lengthy, and you should get to know what I'm doing for you in Springfield. So House Bill 2483 in current law makes it illegal for a predatory organization to help individuals wanting to apply for state benefits. What was happening is there were people out there taking advantage of people to help them with the paperwork for SNAP and TANF and the programs the state provides to help people that need the assistance. And we just made sure that we cleaned up language so no one can take advantage of the people that need it the most. We have Senate Bill 23, permission to the bar for dreamers. This is the exact language that one of my staffers, my intern, Nathan Huff, helped me write. But what happened in the meantime is President Cullerton had a piece of legislation. Since he's got more power, he was able to take his legislation, get over to the House. Leader Curry, Barbara Flynn Curry, carried it. But what it did is, if you're a student that's undocumented, doesn't matter what country you're from, in the state of Illinois, and you're paying to go to law school and you finish it, and you can then take the bar and practice law in the state of Illinois, but no other state with the license here. There are 3 other states that are doing it as well. New York, I want to say California, and I think Florida's the other one. I'm not 100% sure on Florida. We'll see if the governor signs this piece of legislation. He hasn't yet. Another bill that I'm proud of, and it was our Senator Linda Holmes, she was the Senate sponsor, House Bill 3673 with Representative Smitty. insurance coverage for women's monographies. Passed both houses. The bill provides that any health provider participating in the Department of Public Health breast cancer treatment quality improvement program will be reimbursed for treatment, treating patients at a ratio no lower than 95% of Medicare program rates. It requires the Department of Public Health to work with experts on breast cancer and treatment to improve the expansion program. I was very proud to pass House Bill 642. It's Women's Business Ownership Council. I had great staff, Mr. Christian helped me write this piece of legislation. But what it does, it constitutes a council that will consist of 9 members. 5 will be appointed by the governor and 1 from each Senate and House party. And at least 4 members must be women business owners, meaning that 51% of the businesses or have a high-ranked position with significant responsibilities in the company. And what we'll do is work on funding for the council as far as activities. How do we help these women prosper in the state of Illinois in contracts, minority set-aside contracts, and what have you. And I'm a businesswoman at heart, so that was really important to me. I picked up Senate Bill 1818 from the Senate, and what it does, it allows each county, the 102 counties, to give out scholarships to veterans' children. And this is really important because a couple of years back we removed the General Assembly scholarships that we were getting to help our communities, and I had given out over 100 scholarships in the last 12 years to individuals in our community that deserved it, that otherwise couldn't have gone to college. But there were a few of my colleagues that abused it, and we all lost it. So it's important that you know at the county level you can apply if you are a veteran's child for these scholarships too. It helps them with the tuition. So it's for sons and daughters of veterans who served for the last theater all the way through. I think we took off World War II might still be there. So if you want to check more about that, let me know that. So what do some of these bills mean to you? The public aid application fraud. That's House Bill 2043. This one is fairly straightforward, but it's worth explaining so that everybody knows what we've done by sending this bill to the governor. If you need some state assistance, this means that the lawyers and the state agencies that help in SNAP or AA, BA, or TANF application process will be able to do so without ambiguous wording in the law that makes them weary of helping. Senate Bill 23, the admission to the bar of the Dreamers. So if this law becomes, if this bill becomes law, it'll form a proposal that is similar to the one in California. Like I said earlier, there's some kids, but the kids that are considered the DACA kids, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals students, and that means sometime in the future they could become citizens, and we want, well, some of my colleagues would say we don't need more attorneys, but I think we need more attorneys that are actually able to help. And then the insurance coverage for women in low-dose mammography, my throat's a little dry, requires the Department of Health Care and Family Services Department to ensure that on or after January 1 of 2016, all networks of care for adult clients, including access to at least one breast exam center for imaging excellence. Our goal is to provide all women in Illinois with easy access to imagery centers for excellence in receiving a high-quality mammogram test. This is really important, especially at the high rate of breast cancer in the state of Illinois that we provide. Our bond sales, because we know after they get to that point, they're able to hire more women and help us, and they help each other. So, House Bill 3476, the fallen veterans tuition waivers for children. This is what I said earlier, Senate Bill 1818 about tuition waivers for the children of veterans. I think it's very important, and we should not be able to do that. Now, I went through those really quickly. and I'm really I love serving you in Springfield, but I'm trying to find new ways to connect with more people who don't have the time to come see me, or might not have time to go to Springfield. I'm trying to keep myself very available to you. So at this point, if there's any questions that you'd like to ask me, if you'd like to type in, please go ahead. And I think we have one from earlier today about health coverage. So let me go ahead and start on that one first. So the question earlier was, what is the latest on the legislation to increase the pay and benefits for home health care providers? This is very important. Please understand this. Because there's so few women in the legislature or Congress, usually things that are germane to us as women are a little bit overseen because there's not enough of us supporting. There's not enough of us supporting. Sorry, I apologize. There's not enough women there supporting the issues that we deal with on every day-to-day basis. So this is very important. So House Bill 1288 by Representative Lisa Hernandez is the Domestic Worker Bill of Rights. Under Hernandez's bill, 1888, anyone who keeps or manages a home or provides a nanny, cleaning, laundry, caregivers, or chauffeur service would be considered a domestic worker and have enforceable employment rights. Employers should be required to enter into a contract with the worker establishing the job requirements and pay and time of periods guaranteed. So in that sense, domestic workers can either enter into a bargaining rights then and there. To account for the diversity of the domestic employee labor force, the bill would provide that a sample contract in English and Spanish and Polish would be supplied to the Illinois Department of Labor. The bill now awaits action by the Senate. As for pay increase for Illinoisans as a whole, the minimum wage is something, that was another question, is something that's being considered under Senate Bill 11. That was the second question that was posed. And it's made it through the Senate, but the bill is still being worked on in the House. Of course, you know, the governor stated he wants to do a pay increase up to $10 over the next 7 years. I would like to side with the fact that we need to do pay increases, but we also have to provide an environment for our businesses to really flourish, so they can be on the side of making this possible in the future, hopefully this year or next year. Are there any other questions? And this video will be on YouTube, so if you guys want to review what I said and the bill numbers, please understand you'll be able to get that as well. I see you, Nathan. Peace. Who's the beautiful girl next to you? I don't even know who you're next to. Morgan. Hi, Morgan. I love you. How you doing, baby? Good? Good. I'm shocked that David hasn't said a word. I know you would talk. There. Hello, Don. Where's the child? She's in the other room somewhere. I can't hear your mute still on. No questions, no concerns. Well, if you guys want to know where I'm at, I'm in Lisle at my daughter's basketball game. That's how much I love you. I brought you with me. And then I brought my staff because I'm inept when it comes to technology. So she's got her computer down here. I got mine up here. She's just making sure that I'm answering all your questions. What's going on? No. I can see you, Barry. Yes, my love. And for those of you who hopped on, I will supply you, we'll send you my personal email, and some of you guys already know it, but and anything you guys want to do, especially if there's legislation that you feel that I should be in front of. I know, Nathan, you sent me a couple new ones on veterans. I'm excited about looking at that. But you make a difference now in the sense of you can help me write legislation. You don't have to be elected. I work for you. So I'm willing to listen and talk to anybody about that issue. Is there anything we can do to help get your bills through? Which bill? Any of them? Which one in particular? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Nathan. Let me see if I have you on mute. You're not on mute, can you hear me, Nathan? Okay, I can't hear you. You look like you're rocking out to some music. Well, you could always help me get some bills passed. Come on. All you gotta do is come to Springfield with me because you're a good guy. Can we actually do anything to get your bills through any bills? Well, right now, the issue is, oh, look at Don brought his daughter in. Hey, beautiful, were you sleeping or what? It depends. When you say bills, I mean, yeah, you can help with anything, but which bills are you thinking about? You want to type it? For some reason, I can't hear you, Nathan. Can you hear Nathan? I'm trying to see if it's on my side, but I can't hear you. But others individual on the side too. Oh, yeah, that's right. There was nothing. Oh, it's summer, so the Belleville, Springfield. So if you want to come next Tuesday, I'm actually carpooling with Senator Holmes and Senator Melinda Bush. You can come with us if you want, Nathan, if you're available next Tuesday. I'm more than happy to have you come with us. In fact, you'll probably learn a lot from those other two senators. Okay, cool. Check your schedule. Anybody else? Any other issues? I love watching you guys. Let's see. It's only 7:22. And Veronica won her first game, just in case anybody's wondering. She played amazingly. She only got one 3-pointer in, but they didn't have a high-scoring game. So nothing. I'm surprised Dave's not talking. David. Thank you. Thank you guys all. If there's anything at all, please, I'm going to make sure you guys follow my personal emails. If I can help out with anything, whether it's looking for a job, a letter of recommendation, if you want to hang with me in Springfield, if you want to start a grassroots campaign on any issue, just let me know. Thanks for hanging out with me. You guys take care. Have a good night. Bye.